I'm Jason Sani. I'm a nutritionist and trainer, and I've been working in the fitness industry for more than 10 years. And now it's your turn to benefit from all that experience. This series of routines will kick your body's own natural testosterone production into high gear. Let's get started. All right, guys, here we are with the push workout B variation, which is gonna be very similar to the A variation, except we're gonna swap out a couple of the movements. Still focusing all those primary movers, the big chest, shoulder, tricep functions, getting a lot of that core movement. So what we wanna do here is focus on finding a weight that's unique to you again, that's challenging, that you can progress with on a weekly basis. So whether you want to journal this or write it down, but this is naturally going to create that environment of that progressive overload that is going to get your body to adapt to get that much stronger. So the first movement we're going to go into is the incline barbell press. We want to bring full intensity and energy into this movement. We're going to start out with a warm-up of 20 repetitions, and I want you to treat this warm-up just like the working set. Try to recruit those muscles, visualizing all the muscle fibers, everything growing, and then let's find a weight for this first week that you know you'll be able to complete 5 sets of 5 challenging repetitions. So again, that's a weight that you can perform for 5, but if you tried to do 7 or 8, that'd probably be pretty challenging, but we don't necessarily want to go to failure. And then the next week, let's see if we can add, on average, going up about 5 to 10%, and that way it gives our bodies a chance to adapt and evolve. So first movement, incline barbell press. Let's get ready for it. All right, next exercise, moving into the incline dumbbell press. So it's gonna be similar movement to that first movement in the power. Now we're gonna add some higher repetitions at the 12 to 15 rep range for 3 rounds. So what we wanna do with the dumbbells, pick the dumbbells out, challenging enough weight that doing more than 15 just is probably not likely, but I really want you to focus on range of motion, good quality form, opening up and working that full chest. So you got 3 rounds, 12 to 15 reps, and then we're gonna move on to 2 supersets. As a nice pumping exercise, we're gonna go into a lateral raise for 15 reps, supersetted with a front plate raise for 15 reps. We'll do 3 rounds of those. So after you perform that first movement, move on to the second movement with complete control. First superset exercise out of that is gonna be the lateral raise. So we wanna focus on controlled weight. So this is not about momentum and swinging the weight around. This is about naturally lifting, initiating from your deltoids, your shoulders. Now let's talk about the front raise. You wanna grab a plate, so a weight plate from a 25-pound to a 45-pound, it's up to you, and you wanna keep your body still, eliminate any sort of momentum or swinging motion. You wanna lift from the shoulders and allow the core to bring it down in complete control. About 15 repetitions is the goal here. You got about 30 seconds to a minute rest and complete another one. So we're going 3 rounds of that. That's that superset. We move on to our final upper body push superset, and that's gonna be dip. So you can do a dip variation on a bench, or if you have a traditional dip to do. And then the next exercise is gonna be a overhead extension with a dumbbell. So using the dumbbell and the dip, both rep ranges are gonna be 8 to 10 reps. Our goal is gonna be 8 to 10 good quality dips that you're initiating that movement from your chest, holding you in place, and the tricep is what we want to be the primary mover here. If you don't have dip bars, this is an easy modification that you can do on a bench or a box, any sort of apparatus that your upper body can be elevated and your lower body can be on the ground. So we're gonna go for 8 to 10, full extension all the way up, all the way down. Going into our next exercise, the tricep extension with a dumbbell. So grab a challenging dumbbell that's gonna put you around that 8 to 10 rep range, and full extension, trying to keep the elbows close, elevated above your head, and we wanna get full range of motion, inflection and extension, 8 to 10 reps. We're gonna go 3 rounds back to back, just pumping these babies up, and we're gonna finish up the push workout with those 2. All right, guys, let's take a second to talk about hypertrophy, muscle growth and tissue growth. So this is referring to the rep range in between about 8 to 15 reps, which is going to help promote muscle breaking down and growing back larger and stronger, which in return is going to create that anabolic environment of having more lean muscle tissue. So the rep ranges, as we said, are going to be focused at that higher volume. This will also include some of the supersets of going back and forth and just creating a lot of blood flow. So most of these rep ranges are going to be at that 15 rep range with a rest period right around that 90 seconds unless stated otherwise. All right, guys, we've arrived to the end of the push V workout. We're going to go into a try superset and just finish off that core. So we got 3 exercises here. The first one we're going to go into is an ab rollout. So find that ab roller, whatever you got. If you need to, you could substitute this for a rope pull down. But we got 15 repetitions. Next exercise is going to be the bicycle crunch. Find an area to have that lower flat back, recruiting as much muscle as possible to get the elbow to the knee alternating. 30 repetitions. Next workout is going to be a knee raise. So this depends on your conditioning level. If you can do hanging leg raises, that's going to be more ideal, and we're going to try to focus on hitting those lower abs with a controlled movement of lifting the hips up from the bottom. So hanging leg raise ideal. If you want to modify, you can go to a dipped bar, driving, lifting those knees up to the chest. And then final modification, which is still working just as good, is going to be on that bench, focusing on just lifting the knees up. Focused, controlled movement, again for a total of 15 reps. Let's go 3 to 4 rounds. 4 rounds ideally if you got this. I know you're going to be drained on energy. And that is how we're going to wrap up this push B variation. Nice job, and let's get ready for the next workout.